A very good evening to you from wherever you're watching us from. This is the Weekend Live, coming to you live from our studios in Nairobi. And among the stories we have for you tonight is the mass action led by Raila Odinga and other Azimio rallies. RUTH CHEPKOECH is our sign language interpreter tonight. I'm IMBINDA. Massive welcome to the broadcast. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leaders have today toured parts of Narok County for a series of rallies. The coalition's leader Raila Odinga has insisted that the March 20 demonstrations will happen as earlier planned should the government fail to address their demands. Odinga also restated his plans to announce products to be boycotted by his supporters as he accuses some companies of going to bed with the current administration.
Azimio One Kenya Alliance has held a series of rallies in Narok County today. The coalition leaders have toured parts of Narok County, including Garengiro, Narok Town, and Tulele. The coalition leader Raila Odinga maintained that the planned March 20 demonstrations will take place and urged Narok County residents to join citizens from other parts of the country in attending the demonstrations that are set to happen in Nairobi.
Gharama ya maisha irudi chini. Alafu vile vile saba ifunguliwe. Alafu itume uchaguzi iundwe pamoja. Sawa? Tumelala vizuri? Tumelala vizuri? Tumesema sasa Wakenya wataanza kufanya maandamano. Sawa?
Raila says that the coalition has decided to hold demonstrations owing to the government's refusal to address their demands, including opening of the IEBC servers for confirmation of the August 8, 2022 presidential poll outcome.
Sasa sisi tumekuja pamoja kama wanaazimio. Kwanza baada ya yale matokeo kufanyika, tulienda mahakama kifanya dhuluma kwetu. Kusema hayasuru. Lakini baadaye ukweli imetoka. Manake walisema ati ukweli haiozi. Hata ukifunika namna gani bali itakuda tu. Sio? Ukweli imetoka sasa. Ukweli imetoka ya kwamba Chebukati alisema uongo.
Nilisema watu wakianza na wizi wanamalizia na nini? Na wizi. Hawa serikali bandia walianza na wizi wa kura. Na sababu hawana haja na Wakenya, wameendelea kuimba haki yako.
Usiende upange mikora yako 100 ianze kuibia watu hapa na pale Nairobi barabarani na useme ni watu Azimio. La, sisi ni watu amani. We know where we are going. We are very strategic. We are very organized. And therefore wananchi wa Kenya musiwe na hofu.
Raila has also continued his attack on some companies that he says are being misused by the government and now promises that he will issue an order to his followers to boycott their services.
Sawa. Kwa mfano hii kampuni inaitwa Safaricom. Kwanza wiki ijayo hii tunaambia siku ile ambayo tunasema sisi tunawacha Safaricom tunahama. Mambo ya mayai, unajua hiyo.
The leaders have continued to blame the government for what they term as failure to lower the cost of living despite many promises during the campaign period.
Kama mtu wa Narok umechoka kuwa na njaa, ni wangapi wako na njaa hapa? Mwinua mkono. Maisha yamebadilika. Hii maisha haichagui Masai, haichagui Jaluo, haichagui Kikuyu. Sisi wote tunaumia. Ama namna gani?
Janga la njaa Kenya. Kwa hivyo naomba zote, tarehe 20 ikifika tuamke twende Nairobi. Wale watakuwa hapa, shika sufuria, shika rungu, goga na useme jaa. Ja!
The Azimio One Kenya coalition is now set to hold demonstrations in the next 7 days should the government fail to address their demands. Joseph Kiss, KUTV.
Former Migori Governor Okoth Obado has told of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga for planning the March 20 demonstrations in order to oppose the government. Obado, who addressed the media in Migori town, has said that the Nyanza region residents have benefited from the Kenya Kwanza government and that they will not participate in the demonstrations. Obado has also scoffed at Odinga for intimidating Nyanza leaders who have chosen to work with the RUTH administration. The ODM party has lost 150 members, including its top officials in Busia, to the UDA party. The immediate former Busia woman Representative Florence Mutua, ODM Assistant Chairperson Patrick Obongonya, and the ODM General Secretary Innocent Oluku are among the officials who switched membership. UDA's new Secretary General Cleophas Malala received the converts at an event in Busia.
The Orange Democratic Movement Party, ODM, has been dealt a blow in Busia County, where it enjoys massive support after 150 of its members moved to the ruling UDA party. The members include top local branch officials, among them the Assistant Chairperson Patrick Obongoya and Secretary General Innocent Oluku. While speaking at Bulakama Resort, the UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala urged leaders to commit to working with the government and to continue supporting the UDA manifesto in order to help President William Ruto and the current regime dispensation fulfill their promise to Kenyans.
Leo Mama Florence ametoka katika chama cha ODM na watu 150 officials wa ODM.
The UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala and other leaders accompanying him at the event called out the Azimio la Umoja coalition leader Raila Odinga for his plans to lead Kenyans to mass actions over the high cost of living, among other unmet demands by the Ruto administration.
Waamuke asubuhi mapema, waimbe tibim tialala, tibim ugwe tialala. Ikifika jioni, wakichoka, waende walale. But we want to assure Kenyans that the only handshake our president is going to have is a handshake between the president and the common mwananchi.
Florence Mutua, a former woman representative in Busia, who also lost her gubernatorial bid to Paul Otuoma in the last elections, urged the UDA party to continue lobbying for more members and rooted for massive grassroots registration in Busia.
Kama kuna kazi ya rais ile mheshimiwa Malala amenipatia ni kuendelea kurecruit watu hapa Busia County. Na nitafanya na ile uongozi iko sahihi ya UDA tuendelee kurecruit watu wa UDA ndio tukue wengi.
This wave of defections come only 1 week after Cleophas Malala launched UDA party offices in Kisumu as he leads his party's onslaught in the opposition strongholds. Yvonne Kemuma, KU TV.
President William Ruto has appointed Bishop Dr. David Adang Ogenda as the chair of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, through a statement of notification of the President. Action of today, 11th March 2023. The retired Bishop of Sitem Church will now take charge of the Integrity House from Archbishop Emeritus Dr. Eliud Wabukala, whose term elapsed last year after 6 years of service. Bishop Oginde was nominated by Public Service Commission alongside Professor Kibutha Kibwana and Mr. Amani Yuda Kumara from the head of state was to appoint one. The government has begun implementing the 10 billion shillings Blue Economy project in the 5 coastal counties to harness the sector. Mining and Blue Economy Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria says that the projects funded by the World Bank have many components, including alternative livelihoods for fishermen.
Mvura, who was accompanied by the Deputy Governor of Kilifi, Flora Chibule, says that away from the first phase of fund disbursement, there still remains another 2.9 billion that shall be distributed in the region, and advised groups to apply for the grants that have been embarked for the 5 counties making up the board of the coastal region.
But also across the country, we have done mapping for all BMUs. We have 445 BMUs that we want to transform into cooperative societies so that they can be able to access credit, so that they can be able to access any other support, so that then we are able to inspire the economy of fishermen in our country. We have looked at the marine resources. We have also looked at the inland resources and the blue space in general. In Lake Victoria, we have quite a number of BMUs, and also in Lake Turkana, Lake Naivasha, Lake Elementaita, and Lake Baringo. So we have covered all this in the marine sector and also in aquaculture.
On her part, the Deputy Governor for Kilifi County, Flora Chibule, said that through the project, fishermen from all over the region will get a boost in terms of grants to begin projects and upscale fishing.
Mabibi na mabwana, serikali hii ya Gideon Maitha Mungaro pamoja na kaunti zingine za pwani ikiwa Kwale, Mombasa, Tana River na Lamu, kupitia mradi huu wa Benki ya Dunia inaungana mkono na jamii yote ya wavuvi katika maeneo yetu ya pwani.
Benson Baraka Menza, one of the beneficiaries of the grant and who hails from Kondoni area in Jiloreward, narrates that before the grant he used to miss classes due to lack of fees and at times had to do odd jobs to get fees, rent and food.
So kupitia huu mradi nimeona umenisaidia, at least hii naweza kaa darasani na mimi nikasoma kama wengine, naweza kaa darasani nikasoma kama wale wenye wanajiita wenye bahati.
Tumemshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa sababu sisi ni wamama, bado mimi naendelea kwenda mbio kwa sababu niko na nguvu zangu. Hivi juzi tayari kuna shirika lingine linaitwa FAO. Hata saa hii nikiwaambia twendeni pale ndani, wametuletea freezer 2 na soda 6 na battery zake na kila kitu kiko hapa kwa sababu ambio zangu mimi mama.
Rukia Pambajuka, a fishmonger and seller at Kilifi landing site, adds that initially they had challenges in getting fish and she opted to form a group of fellow women fishmongers so as to begin looking for support. Joy Maina, KUTV, Nairobi.
Flow Initiative, in partnership with Kenyatta University's Directorate of Disability Services and Nairobi Metropolitan Area and Transport Authority NAMATA, has launched the findings of a research on disabled persons' access to public transport within a social justice framework. The organizations are calling for the provision of accessible, safe, affordable and sustainable transport systems by 2030. The event was hosted at Kenyatta University Conference Center.
Nairobi Metropolitan Area and Transport Authority NAMATA and Flow Initiative have launched the findings of their research looking into how inclusive and accessible public transport services are to persons with disabilities. The report recommends provision of ramps on one or both ends of Bus Rapid Transit System BRT as one of the ways that can make the stations accessible to all users, and that bus stations interface be leveled to allow easy embarking and disembarking of passengers. In addition, the research shows that BRT and complementary bus services should incorporate best practices regarding design for persons with disabilities and special needs.
So NAMATA stands for the Nairobi Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, and it is responsible for overseeing the development of an integrated, sustainable, inclusive, efficient public transport system within the Nairobi Metropolitan Area that comprises of 5 counties, so Nairobi City, Kajiado, Kiambu, Machakos, and Murang'a counties.
According to the report given by Namata Senior Network Management Officer Abiga Muigai, Namata is responsible for overseeing the public transport service of Nairobi County, which covers 4 counties neighboring Nairobi City.
The BRT system will transform the matatu industry as we know it, having a reliable service scheduled so that even persons with disabilities can be able to plan their day. The system will also have constant fares, which will be officially communicated and does not have to fluctuate with weather or demand. The buses will also have designated sitting area for persons with disability, pregnant women, the elderly, and also parents with children. The stations will also be accessible to all, and the buses luckily will have low platform so that even persons with mobility challenges can easily board the buses without aid.
Abigail adds that BRT system favors all kinds of passengers, ranging from the disabled persons to the elderly.
So the buses are going to be inclusive for everyone, meaning there's going to be space that is going to be dedicated for persons with disability. There will be space that is also clearly marked that it's for persons with disability and other vulnerable groups, including pregnant women and the elderly. So there won't be any buses that are separate that are persons with disability, no, because we are championing for inclusivity.
Flown Initiative Research Officer Regina Gitau says the initiative is campaigning for safe and sustainable transport system for women and vulnerable groups, adding that BRT system buses shall not be made for any specific group of people.
When I get to a bus station, I stay for many hours without getting a bus or matatu because, you know, Nairobi, it's a place where people are always in a hurry. And you find that, for example, in a bus station, people leave you. You know, they hurry and get to the matatu and it's feel like they go. Matatu are a bit high and bus are a bit high, so you have to be lifted and you know, they have to fold your wheelchair. Sometimes they don't have a place to put your wheelchair and you are supposed, you know, you're forced to pay maybe 3 times.
So this BRT is not specifically, it's an inclusive bus. So it's a bus which will have sections for persons with disability designated, which is something which has been lacking in public transport. So it is something which we applaud for. We are happy that the measures are being put in place to ensure that reasonable accommodation is accorded to persons with disability. So this is something which is the future, inclusivity and integration. So when this is happening, we are happy as a community of persons with disability.
Differently abled people had their chance to explain the challenges they go through at the same time, expressing their gratitude for being considered in the BRT transport system. With the BRT system put into work in Nairobi County, the disabled persons will be able to get services from trained personnel working with the buses.
After launching of inclusive and accessible public transport service for the people with disabilities, Namata, together with the Flown Initiative, has promised to work together to provide buses which shall be able to cater for the people with disabilities and other passengers. Mutunga Joseph, KUTV.
The Law Society of Kenya Embu chapter has faulted the county government of Embu for allegedly engaging quack lawyers in certification of county staff documents during headcount exercise. The allegations have since led to the arrest of 2 individuals suspected to be fake lawyers. Officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations (DCI) are looking into the matter.
The Embu branch of the Society of Bar members is pointing an accusing finger at the county government of Embu for seeking the services of quack lawyers in verification and certification of employees' documents. LSK says that this loophole led to void documents being passed as authentic by the fake lawyers, who are not keen enough to ascertain that they were original copies.
We have documents being stamped. We have documents being signed by people who do not qualify as advocates under the Advocates Act. And those are the people we call masqueraders. And as a bar, as a regional bar, we are of the opinion that that should not be happening. And we say now that it is time for us to stand together and fight the people who misrepresent us.
They were simply just stamping documents and passing them along. There was no certification in the proper sense that was going on, and the persons who are certifying these documents are not advocates.
It is these claims that prompted the intervention of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, with their sleuths arresting 2 suspects who are currently in their custody for questioning over the allegations. Embu LSK, through the chair Ann Mwigwi, has denied knowledge of the suspects, adding that they are not registered members as required of lawyers.
We have managed to find 2 culprits inside stamping documents, and we have sought the services of the DCI Embu, and we are sure that we'll be able to start the process and hopefully prosecute them.
Lawyers Karimi Gwentai and Dennis Munene, while adding their voices onto the matter, faulted the county government for failing to consult LSK for appropriate guidance in such complex legal matters, saying that the ignorance put their status at stake.
It is an issue that we need to sort and root out because it will bring into question the credibility of advocates practicing in this.
We shall advise on the way forward in regards to the process that is ongoing here, and thereafter we shall again have this moment and give you feedback on what the Council of Embu lawyers has done concerning the conduct of the officials here in this office.
However, County Public Service Administration and ICT CC Emilio Kathuri, in defense of the county government, said their role was only to hire the services of the law firm High HRN to certify the documents as true copies of the originals, but the authentication would be conducted later.
Kusema process inafanywa na Coax ama ni nani, I can't reply. We have contracted IHRM, which is a government fully owned parastatal. So, if they have given us quacks, that is not for me to answer. The most important thing is for us to see the results.
Embu LSK has said it will write to the Embu County government concerning the issue, as well as the LSK headquarters, on the conduct of the county government of Embu. Kumu Modaki for KUTV.
Now we're taking a short break right here. We'll be back with more stories. Keep watching.
Baada ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi wana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili
bila uoga. Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Technovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Welcome back. Now, the government in February has a nighttime curfew in 6 counties and an amnesty for handing over illegal guns after a series of violent attacks from the cattle rustlers and bandits in the Northern Rift Valley. But just a few guns were turned in as herders say they need to protect themselves in remote areas that have little security. The following report on the situation in North Rift comes to you courtesy of our partner VOA.
Herders and traders throng to the livestock market in Kenya's northwestern town of Lodwar to buy what few sheep and goats are on sale. It's a rush to replenish stock killed by record drought and worsening theft of animals. Herder Peter Erot says in February, armed bandits stole from him more than 50 cattle and nearly 200 goats.
They're thieves with guns who steal our livestock day and night. Even yesterday, one tried to steal my goat. We caught him, but the police took him away.
Kenya in February announced a security crackdown after a spike in cattle rustling and bandit attacks that in the last 6 months have killed more than 100 civilians and 14 police in the Northern Rift Valley region. The government deployed troops and authorities announced a 30-day nighttime curfew.
We have bandits. We have had bandits attack public service vehicles, but we have put the strategies in place to ensure that disruption today and every other day are interrupted.
Officials also declared an amnesty so people could hand in illegal weapons, but say just a handful were turned over. Herders say they need guns to protect themselves from attacks that frequently occur. The Lodwar Referral Hospital is full of gun-related injuries. Herder Nikamoy Kareng says rustlers shot him in the shoulder.
Throughout my life, this is how things have happened here. Every day, a person is killed and livestock is stolen. Every time there is a raid, we must stop them or pursue them with guns. That's the only way things work here.
The cattle raids have been spilling over the borders into Uganda and South Sudan, raising concerns that if not quashed soon, the problem will only get bigger. For David Lamoria in Lodwar, Kenya, Roderick James, VOA News.
A ruling by Kenya's Supreme Court allowing registration of LGBTQ associations has been hailed as a step forward in gay rights in some quarters. But homosexual relations are illegal in Kenya, and now Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma is pushing a bill to increase the maximum punishment for anyone found guilty to life in prison. VOA's Nairobi reporter Juma Majanga compiled this story.
Peter Kaluma is busy in his Nairobi office preparing to file for a review of a recent Supreme Court ruling that allows the registration of LGBTQ associations in Kenya. The parliament member says LGBTQ individuals have no rights in Kenya under the Constitution. He has also introduced a bill increasing the maximum punishment for anyone found guilty of same-sex relations to death.
Currently, under the current law, if homosexuals, the people who engage in homosexuality, do so by consent, the punishment is 7 years. Where one is forced or coerced to engage in homosexuality, the punishment is 14 years. But that has not sufficiently deterred these homosexuals. And so we are increasing penalty. In some cases, it will be life imprisonment. In cases where there is no consent, we are going to institute death penalty. And that is going to be very explicit in this law.
Last month's majority ruling from Kenya's Supreme Court sparked a debate in the country. The hashtag Say No to LGBTQ in Kenya trended for days following the ruling, with criticism led by President William Ruto.
Katika taifa letu la Kenya, tuko na mila.
In our country, Kenya, we have culture and norms, and we respect our constitution. We respect the different religions in our country. We cannot go the road of women marrying fellow women and men marrying fellow men. That can never happen in our country, Kenya.
Religious leaders blame what they call unchecked freedoms in the constitution for the ruling by the country's top court.
It's one of those areas on freedom of association without limits that the Supreme Court used to issue an order to the organ, the body that is registering NGOs to register gay movement, that they have a right to association.
The LGBTQ community in Kenya and rights advocates have hailed the High Court's ruling as a step forward in gay rights.
The ruling will empower us and give us fair spaces. It will allow those who have been hiding in fear to come out and to register as a rainbow community. Being recognized is important because our members have faced attacks and some even killed.
In Kenya, First Lady Rachel Ruto has volunteered to lead national prayers against homosexuality in the country. Meanwhile, many Western countries have legalized same-sex relations in recent decades. And just last month, the Church of England allowed a blessing ceremony for same-sex couples.
Tolerance in sections of the world does not make it right. It simply says that that community or the group that are making it acceptable are a group who have followed the culture rather than who are setting a trend for the culture to follow.
While the Kenyan constitution guarantees a right to freedom of association, same-sex relations remain illegal in the country. Juma Majanga for VOA News, Nairobi.
Let's get sporty. Match-fixing claims have rocked Kenyan football again. A Kenyan and two foreigners were nabbed in a house raid in Zimmerman last night by police from the Kasarani division acting on a tip-off. The suspects Rajan Ahyad Kubev, Ugandan Bernard Navendi and Kenyan Martin Munga Mutua intended to influence a Kenyan Premier League match involving Nairobi City Stars and Sofapaka set for Saturday afternoon in Nairobi. To attain this, the trio had allegedly approached some City Stars players to help them execute their agenda, but the players opted to fix them up. Confirming the development, FKF Chief Executive Officer Barry Otieno said the trio are in custody and will be arraigned in court on Monday. However, the FKF match between City Stars and Sofapaka played to a 1-1 draw with Samuel Kapen and Rodi Manga scoring for their teams respectively. Football Kenya Federation FKF CEO Barry Otieno has confirmed that the 9 points taken away from Kayole Starlets were as a result of the games they forfeited in the Kenya Women's Premier League. Otieno criticized Kayole Starlets head coach Joshua Sakwa for claiming that the federation had treated them unfairly. Otieno explained that Kayole's match against Kangemi was forfeited because they did not provide the security requested by the host team. Starlets matches against Wadadia at Mumias Complex and Binyora Starlets at Momboha Grounds were also forfeited. Otieno warned Kayole that they risked demotion if they dished out another walkover. Kayole Starlets are currently at the bottom of the log with 0 points and have only been playing home games and matches within the Nairobi region. Cabras are the back-to-back Kenya Rugby Cup champions after overcoming KCB 19-9 at the ASK Kakamega Showgrounds. John Kubu opened the scoring for the mighty Cabras just before halftime. Then things got heated in the second half when Cabras added another 6 points before KCB pulled their first try. Cabras were, however, too strong for the Bunkers and added 13 more points to secure their back-to-back title. It's time to call it a wrap right here. The Weekend Live. Thank you for joining us tonight, and special thanks to everyone that has made this bulletin a success. Remember, you can get this bulletin and all our subsequent bulletins on YouTube at KUTV Kenya or on our website at www.kutv.co.ke. Ruth CHEPKOECH has been our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is IMBINDA. Good night.